Om Namah Shivaya, way of Dharma, Asanast fire. Today we'll be discussing a very interesting topic. First of the lessons that I would like to give you today would be this. Everything physical, everything below your true self, your soul, is changeable and malleable. It should be flexible at all times. And seek to be versatile in everything you do, and most of all, be versatile in your mind and your thinking. Because thought and the physical body are the most malleable things as opposed to the true self, which is the true soul. Om Namah Shivaya. Today our topic will be reviewing a very, very good book from a very, very great author and magician, Baal Kadmon. This is how this started. It was in 2020 lockdown. I couldn't go out. I couldn't do anything. So I only had books to myself, and I only had to use what I had basically. So I went online, went to Amazon, and then subscribed for the Kindle Unlimited thing basically. It's when I came across many of the books by Baal Kadmon. So what exactly are we discussing today? We are discussing shadow work. People like to ask me, Asanest Fire, why do you have such long nails? Because I let them to grow. What's the problem with having long nails? It's creepy. It's scary. Some of them say. But now I ask you a question now. Is it really creepy? These are just nails. These are neutral things. They have nothing to do with being creepy, weird, and scary. You have a certain perception about long nails. You have a certain idea about long nails. So when you see it on a person, you're projecting your ideas, your thoughts, and opinions on that person, telling me that Asanest Fire, your nails are so scary, you look weird. No, your perception says that someone with long nails is weird. That's not actually the truth. And sometimes it might be influenced by your programming, by your childhood, by your traumas that you've experienced as a child. Most of us watched many horror movies where people had long nails. So years later, you see into adulthood, you see somebody having long nails, and then you project what you've learned, what you've been programmed. Exactly. So where does that aspect come from? Why am I saying this? Today's subject will be talking about shadow work. Okay. Shadow work is a work whereby you go into your shadow. It's a magical technique you use to basically introspect yourself and go deeper and question yourself, your behavior, your reactions to certain things, and your life in general. Okay. I've heard people from the West and most magicians talk about a good shadow work meditation. However, I find that it's incomplete. And some of you Buddhist guys, you claim that you know Buddhism, but then we ask you of one practice, that of shadow work. You can't tell. Anyway, let's talk about this practice. I've tried shadow work meditation. I've tried shadow work in that tradition of Western esoteric practice, basically. And then I haven't had any good results. So I decided to go further into the Eastern practices. And I found what? One of the books by Baal Kadmon, Chod practice. What exactly is Chod? Chod is a meditation, a sadhana. What is a sadhana? A spiritual practice, a practice that you practice to do what? To sever the ties that bind you, to reunite with those aspects of yourself which have been scattered and fragmented upon the entirety, basically. So among those fragmented parts, you discover your traumas, your limitations, and the ties that bind you basically to that form of thinking, that projection of projecting things to people. I'm sorry I can't do a video because currently we are facing, it might be a sabotage because this side there's power problems, and ever since I've started talking about the message on YouTube and trying to get a good thing going, I experienced such problems. So what exactly is Chod? Chod is a Buddhist practice of a form of shadow work that would help one to sever ties that bind them, okay, to reunite, and I forgot the proper name, to reunite and to be whole again, basically. It's a practice that comes out of Tibet, out of Buddhism. It's the first practice, a sadhana, to come out of Tibet into India. Whereas with all previous teachings of Dharma as a whole and Buddhism, they all come from India. So this one is the first to originate out of Tibet. It is said that is it Machich Labron, something like that. I can't quite pronounce the name. It is said that a spirit, an intelligent seer, ancient practitioner, meditation, what, they reincarnated as a Tibetan to do what? To practice Chod and teach Chod to Tibetans, and later on bring it back to India. But that soul was actually somebody who had previously reincarnated in India. So in these practices, you get to know, in this book you get to find out what is Chod, the who and when of Chod, the devils of ego fixation, and how they form attachments. You get to discover a little information about the subconscious mind, the shadow self, and how it can manifest an attachment. It gives an example. And then you then sever the ties. Then you get to discover the hungry ghosts of the mind, and then you get experiments in Chod, and etc. When I read this book, I had some few issues that I had with me, some limitations in my thinking that I had, basically. So what did I decide to do? I decided to do a Chod meditation because at that time it was hard for me to actually get along with people. Due to what? Due to the trauma that I got from actually having someone betray me just after I dropped out of school. So I had a trust issue thing, and it was messing with my relationships in general. And then it falls and spills over into my love life, basically. I know I'm a little bit too young to be talking about that, but yes, it spilled on to my love life, and then I decided to do a short meditation. Doing a short meditation, I've discovered very intriguing things. I must say, I've discovered that cartoons that we see on television, they are actually messages or images from the subconscious mind. Basically, you get to see creatures like the ones that you see in the cartoon series Sesame Street. Such cartoons come from the mind, and those are actually the personalities of these demons that would be holding you back. Those are basically your shadow. So these guys actually take your shadow and then they put it on television like that to be raising your children on that. And then sometimes you be surprised that your children have a certain aversion to a certain cartoon character and all that stuff. Yes. So Baal Kadmon is a very, very good author and a very, very good practitioner of magic in general, and well informed well learned, well studied, and I can't recommend this book any I can't stress this book any further. It's a very very great book. Yes, here's Machir Labdron. Yes, uh, it's a very good book, and it gives you very simple techniques. It's very simple to do. You can actually do any aspect of your life, whether it be a fear of money, fear of uh, relationships, fear of people, anxiety, and all that. You can actually do a Chod meditation, and then whatever that's ailing you will take a certain form and image in your mind. You'll be able to reconcile with that part of yourself that was lost due to whatever that you have experienced in the past or even in the present. So, Chod Sadhana, Chod practice is a very, very good practice, to a very good and effective shadow work. Don't underestimate it. Yes, and thanks to our friend Baal Kadmon. He's he's an occultist. I think he was raised in Israel, and then he later on moved back to America, as you will discover by reading this book. I was once in their group chat, and I had discovered something about the practice of Vashikaran. And then each time you practice a mantra, obviously you get to attain a certain level, and then go on and achieve more levels. So I raised that in their group, and then someone misinterpreted what I said for something dangerous. So I was removed from their group. But even though I've experienced such things, I'll still recommend this book. It's a very, very powerful, good book. Uh, it also gives you teachings on Buddhism and whatever that you want to know about shadow work. Very, very advanced stuff. Very, very. It even has uh, mantras that would help you, and the deities that would help you with opening the heart. Like, guys, as we live, as we experience pain and hardship, it's very, very hard to stay positive, to stay with an open heart, because whatever that will ail you will take a toll on your heart, and then it fragments a certain part of your soul. A part of yourself will be lost due to that hurt. So you do need such goddesses to open their heart to compassion, to open their heart in general, so that you can remain positive and remain optimistic in life. You know, this rigid form of thinking is the one true destroyer of everything, basically. So if you can get to open your heart, be optimistic, be flexible and versatile in everything you do, you'll understand very soon that this is a costume, and a costume may be changed, and attires may be changed anytime at will and all the time, basically. So, yes, I'd like to thank you very much for tuning in. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And please practice this Chod shadow work meditation. Om Namah Shivaya. And don't forget to join our WhatsApp group. I'll leave the link below in the description. Om Namah Shivaya. Asanast fire from the way of Dharma.